Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are still in Toronto, not at the floor of the PDAC 2020, but now at the offices of Osisko Gold Royalties. And of course, we want to use our opportunity here to talk to Sandeep Singh, who is the new president of the company. And of course, we want to know who he is. Sandeep, thank you very much for taking the time.
It's my pleasure, Jochen. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, always good to see you. Fantastic. We know each other for several years, I would call it. But now, finally, you ended up here at Osisko Gold Royalties, which is fantastic. Yeah. Maybe you can say some words to your person, please.
Yes, happy to do it. And again, pleasure to be with you in a different setting. So, what I would say to your listeners is I am new to the company, new to my position, but not new to the company. So I've been on the investment banking side, focused in mining for the past 15 years. Obviously, throughout that time, Osisko and its sister companies have been core clients. Mm-hmm. So fully familiar with the team, with all the assets, and now coming in to kind of help reshape the next years of growth for Osisko Gold Royalties.
Yeah, that's right. Fantastic. As we had a little bit of a, I would call it, bumpy road the last months now with the coronavirus and everything. Yeah. And let's put it that way. Yeah, Osisko also, stock price went up, stock price went down. So let's call it, what is the status today? Because I think last year you did, from my understanding, a very, very good, full acquisition with Barkerville, but the market didn't like it. They thought that you guys are going back to play with the big toys in a big little hole in the ground, So can you say something on that, please?
Sure, happy to. So first and foremost, we are a gold royalty company, royalty and streaming company. That hasn't changed. It will not change. That's our core business. We've always been a bit of a hybrid. We pride ourselves on being a bit of a hybrid company. We think it adds value to our shareholders. In that, we've got the accelerator companies on the front end, which have been, by and large, hugely successful. And where we get involved in companies, help form companies and take back royalties early on. Barkerville was the transition of that. It is a value exercise. We understand that asset and that company better than anyone else out there, and we see tremendous value there. It's 4.5 million ounces and growing in south central BC in Canada, and the purpose of that is to move it through the trough, the typical trough in the mining cycle of development companies, extract value through permitting, feasibility work, exploration success, and largely use other people's capital to do that, and then come out the other side with an asset which we think is much more valuable. In the meantime, Osisko Royalties maintains the 4% royalty on the asset. And as you know, Jochen, those royalties are only really valuable as they're producing, so our intent is to try to use external capital to move that along as quickly as possible.
Perfect. Has this also to do with this Northern Spirit Discovery Group?
Yes, that would be under the banner of North Spirit.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good. So there's a lot of in the making then. Of course, you cannot say something about it in detail.
We're working on it. We're working on it. It was obviously a bit of a disruption to the share price last year. It was a bit of an unknown for shareholders. As we're getting out, myself, Sean Roosen, the CEO and chairman of the company, as we're explaining the strategy to people, I think the strategy is resonating. They understand what the purpose is, and I think they're happy to see us moving down that path. Obviously, they want to see some catalysts, and so do we. So that's very much a focus for 2020.
Fantastic. So let's talk about your, I would call it most important royalty, Canadian Malartic. Sure. How's it going there?
Fantastic. So you're absolutely right. That was the flagship asset for the company when Osisko Royalties was formed. It's still our flagship asset today. That 5% NSR on the largest gold mine in Canada, run by Nico Eagle and Yamana, is a tremendous asset for our shareholders. The good news there is that asset seems to keep giving. Just recently, the two operators delineated just shy of an 11.5 million ounce resource there at underground, so separate from the open pit, which we're benefiting from today. It's early days. They're still talking about that asset being open in all directions, or in many directions at least. And we think the more they work on that, the bigger it'll get, the more exciting it'll get. Early days in terms of studies and analysis. There's been a bit of noise about that, but all I can say is having, in a short period of time, that many ounces be delineated under the most efficient mill in Canada, maybe one of the most efficient mills in the world, is a net benefit for Osisko shareholders, which I don't think has been fully valued yet.
Fantastic. Funny enough, I got a question from a viewer, and he said, when it changes from open pit to underground, does the royalty change?
It does in some cases. So the open pit royalty is all 5%. On the underground, we have portions of the underground deposits which can be 3. We have portions which could be 5. That's all documented in some of our disclosure, but it varies between those two for us.
Fantastic. How many gold equivalent ounces do you think you make out of Canadian Malartic this year?
Well, look,
approximately.
Our guidance is for the whole year out of all of our assets is between 82,000 and 88,000 gold equivalent ounces, which is a net increase from the 78 roughly that we generated last year. The biggest single driver of that increase is coming from Victoria Gold and the Eagle Mine, but that'll be our largest year yet, and that comes at a over 90% cash margin, as most of our assets are royalties as opposed to streams, or many of them are. So it should be a pretty exciting year for Osisko shareholders. Last year was a little bit bumpy. We had a couple assets that went backwards on us, but that happens in a portfolio.
That's normal. And you have a large portfolio, by the way.
We do, which is the benefit of what we have. We do have a diversified portfolio. That being said, it's 3/4 in North America. It's 2/3 in Canada. So I think we add kind of the right amount of diversification also in the right geographies. So it should be a good year for Osisko from a production perspective. And obviously we're benefiting from the gold price every day. It's been volatile. The gold price has been volatile. The equities have been volatile. But at the end of the day, we make money every single day.
That's important. Yeah. And you pay a quarterly dividend, which is always
we
appreciated.
do. We also have the benefit of having the highest dividend yield in our peer group, and so we intend to keep that a meaningful part of our company going forward.
Fantastic. So you mentioned Victoria. Of course, that would be also one of my questions. How is it going there? Because it's like a ramp-up phase and production has started. And we both know you're dealing with Mother Nature first. And secondly, mining is an adventure. So any normal hiccups, I would call it, or is anything going smooth?
Yeah, look, I'd say normal. I think the team at Victoria have done a fantastic job of building that. I think John McConnell and his team deserve kudos for having done as well commissioning largely through the winter. It was a tough winter there. I think there are always tough winters up there, but they've done a fantastic job. It's going to go through its normal commissioning issues. I think we were pleased to see that they were stacking the pad in the winter months. In some, theoretically, they weren't supposed to be doing much for 3 months of the year. And frankly, they actually achieved quite a bit. So it'll go through its normal kind of teething issues. Things will break, they'll fix them, they'll break again, they'll fix them again. But frankly, I think we're quite pleased with how things are shaping up at Victoria. And ultimately, John and his team will be able to advise the market as they go through that ramp up.
Yeah, fantastic, great. So talking about 2020, what would you say are, let's say, the most important goals you want to achieve? Or let's say also maybe from the project side, what is really important? What do you really want to accelerate to bring forward?
Sure. Look, I think the key things for us are pretty simple and straightforward. Obviously, the things we have the most amount of control are the thing we have the most amount of control on is Barkerville and raising that capital to move it forward and separating North Spirit from our Osisko Royalties platform, which is always what we said we wanted to do. So that's something the team is very focused on. Other facets of our portfolio, things like Malartic Underground, things that kind of went sideways in 2019, those are being moved forward by operators, some of the best operators in the business. So we hope there'll be some positive catalysts there. And apart from that, we continue to look for other assets to be involved in on the royalty and streaming side. The good news is we do still see things that are good value for us.
So the market has not gone too far with gold over 1,600. So you still find good opportunities?
I think there are still, especially on the development side, there's still people that are being left behind by that gold price. And even on the producer side, I think there's some things that we can do. So there's opportunities. The good news is we don't have to do too much. We have a pretty solid pipeline already. The things we did 2 or 3 years ago are coming into focus, namely the accelerator companies are coming into focus. Eagle is kicking in this year, which will be helpful. So we don't actually have to do too much. We'll focus on the core things I just mentioned, and then we'll be opportunistic, but disciplined and patient.
I think another important project for you is Falco Resources. How is it going there?
Yeah, look, the team at Falco is progressing every day. It's obviously not one that's in favor right now, but they've still delineated quite a few ounces in a great jurisdiction. So with Falco, it's slow and steady. The team makes progress, obviously with Glencore all the time, but with the gold price moving, those ounces become, I think, more and more interesting all the time.
Definitely. Okay. Super. Last but not least, let's talk about some financials, which is important, I would say, because net you have no debt, right?
No, we do have some debt. So we have, I think it was $108 million in cash at the end of the year. We have some convertible debentures to the tune of $350 million. We do have an undrawn credit facility, which might be what you're talking about, or largely undrawn. I think we have a de minimis amount on it. So we have, between the cash, the equities that we carry, the cash flow that we make every day, and the circa $500 million of debt line available to us, we have all the capacity we need to do deals. But again, as I said, you're not wrong in the sense that there is tightness out there. There are new entrants. The gold price is pretty conducive to especially operators. So we're not going to chase low return type deals. We'll stay disciplined. But if we do find something that we want to reach for, we'll do that.
Fantastic. That was a great final sentence, Sandeep. Thank you very much. Great introduction.
My pleasure.
Wish you all the best in your new role. And I would say you are definitely on one of the best mining companies in the world, the president now.
I think so too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Sandeep Singh, the new president of Osisko Gold Royalties. And you heard that everything is in very good shape. Everything is on plan and on track. And Victoria Gold is in the ramp-up phase, maybe contributing, hopefully this year already, a lot of good ounces. But certainly for sure next year when they're in fully commercial production. And also Canadian Malartic is running well in all the other projects. And I think the company does a fabulous job paying a quarterly dividend. That's exactly what you have. And very important, they have enough firepower for new and good streams and royalty deals. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Toronto.